It's honestly being an advocate for neurodiversity. Um, I think as a spouse is really hard whenever you're in the military, and to think about it when like your military person is deployed
Oh yeah.
and then coming in and taking care of the household. And I cannot pull up the research study to tell you exactly which one it is, but I remember reading it that parents of neurospicy kids exhibit stress to that levels of combat veterans.
Hello, this is Rita, and this is me and my mommy's podcast, and then my mommy, and there's me, and I'm just talking about this stuff, and there's me tap dancing, because this is a tap dancing slash autism podcast, and there's a bunch of animals, and I'll be trying to eat my hair, and there's a bunch of sand in the ocean. Also, there's all the soul talk stuff, I love all my mentors and their babes. And also, yes, like life stuff and tap dancing. Oh, and also there are my boots. My boots are amazing. Also, there's me, trying not to have a panic attack. Also, this is a podcast about me, autism, and tap dancing, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just ADHD in this thing. Also, there's my cute adorable puppies.
All right, Lita, do you want to do the intro for today?
Anita does my mom. This is tap styles. This is different Dr. Kristen and now there's two Dr. Kristens in my life, and now I have to figure out who's who. And they both have doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does have two Dr. Kristens because one of my good friends is a professor down at New Mexico State University, and her name's Kristen.
Oh, that's a tough call. I would say I am the number one doctor because I have dragons with glitter wings.
Willie.
But Kristen and Houston has a whole bunch, an entire storage facility compartment full of stuffy she's bringing up.
Okay, that's a tough call. That's a tough call.
Her daughter's like, I'm too adultish for stuffies. And Lita's like, there's no such thing as adultish for squishmallows.
I'm 40 and I still have squishmallows. And like, I'm not too adultish.
My husband told me either Lita could have a squishmallow obsession or I could have a squishmallow obsession. We could not put that one.
Then why he got one for stealing my squishmallows?
We're not going to discuss it. So Kristen, thanks for coming back on the program. You've become a friend of the program. For those who have not, what, Lita?
The dog's still at the couch and I'm barely fitting on this couch. And the camera.
You may have to move the camera so that Jack's not in the
I did! I did!
Obviously, she's gotten used to having you on. So congratulations. She's talking now. I gotta find the shut up button. For those who may not have heard or seen your prior appearance, can you just reintroduce yourself to our audience?
Absolutely. Hello, audience. I was here exactly a month ago when we got to do a super cool Valentine's one, and I still have that headband. It's set away for next year, and I am like, we'll just have to do a Valentine's one every year, just like re-up it and wear the headbands. I am a licensed professional counselor. I am licensed in 4 states, maybe 5 states. I think I'm in the process of getting 5 states. I am late diagnosed autistic and ADHD. I am doing everything that I can to come out and break the stigma of what that looks like, specifically in females, because we are an underrepresented subsection of the autism world. I can say I will come in and advocate for people of color, for everything, but as the whitest person I know, I can come in and be an advocate, but I cannot come in with that personal experience of what that looks like.
I can understand that. We hit a little bit last time on the military, and we told our audience that we were going to talk about the military and possibly a little bit about masking, because I swear Lita's Tap Styles is becoming Lita's Tap Styles and masking.
We could do an entire one on masking in itself. Holy moly.
I think we could do an entire year podcast, just like get a whole bunch of us together and just discuss masking is bad.
Oh my gosh. And how masking leads to burnout and what burnout looks like.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the thing for another day.
That's the thing for another day. We will possibly discuss a little bit about it, though, because it does lead into the military and autism. The diagnosis rates are really high in the military compared to the civilian world.
Which is really interesting because for a while the diagnosis rates were much lower as opposed to the civilian world.
Yeah,
There
and now,
was the lost generation of where kids would fall through the cracks.
yeah, and now we're 3 out of every 5 TRICARE recipients under 18 are diagnosed, not receiving services, but fully diagnosed autistic.
Wow. See, that's new data for me. I was coming in with being raised military, being married to the military, and just seeing, at least for my generation, how military kids were absolutely just, they were not seen.
Yeah, I mean, Lita was shocking because I know we've been at some duty stations where she's was the first autistic kid that the doctors had seen, and I was telling them what we needed, which parents should not be the one telling the doctors what you need.
No, but if you look at it, doctors have, primary care doctors, they have what, 1 or 2 semesters on psych, and that's it. And so they don't have the best descriptors of what autism would look like. Think about autism in females and how we present different. And if we don't have like the masculine phenotype and
well, they weren't even sure what services she needed. And I'm like, there should just be like a send you directly to the neurologist, behavioral shrink, or developmental ped. Get you out of the office.
I mean, if we're going to live in the shoulds, we're just going to be perpetually mad at TRICARE.
It actually works great if people know how to do it. Because if you have TriPrime, we just treat it like an acquisitions project.
You know, actually, I think that hits on an entirely different thing. It's learning what you need to do, because so many people, they have no idea. And especially for the military spouses, they might have just absolutely no idea.
Well, and I've learned, because I had, before she was born, almost a decade of advocacy, so I knew what we needed. But we turn around and I'm telling, because TRICARE, all the referrals, go through the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And the nurse is like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you fill out this form, this form, this form, this form.
See, maybe you could just be the face of the government for how to get people through with autism awareness and all of the things. Because funny enough, with my clients, my clients that I work with are later in life diagnosed, and they're the ones that we lived in Germany, or we lived in North Carolina, we've lived in Guam, we hopped bases every 18 months. And so by the time my mask started to slip and started to have those cracks, bam, we're in a new place. And I get to have the new chameleon mask of Guam me.
Well, and it's not just for the kids, it's also for the spouses have that mask.
Because with the military life, there is an expectation that you act a certain way, you perform a certain way as a spouse, because you are still representing the military.
I was lucky because my career was adjacent, but enough far apart that when my husband's commanding officers would say something about you're not being the perfect spouse, I could go, hi, you're executive branch, I'm legislative branch. You want to have this discussion?
Oh my gosh. See, but it's so incredibly cool that for both of us to come in, and you had this really beautiful positioning that you could come in and be like, middle finger to you, ha ha. I was the stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom with kiddo, and then second kiddo on the way, and like I have no idea what I'm doing. Early 20s. I don't know how to advocate for myself or for my kid. Definitely didn't know about any of this within me.
And the key spouse program is not well trained, even though they're supposed to be the ones you're going to.
It is, oh my gosh, it's so interesting. Have you ever heard of the phrase third culture kids?
Yep.
I just learned about this recently and I love it so much. And just learning how military kids are connected to that third culture because, and neurospicy kids are connected to, like, they are not from, like, if we're in the US, but then we're in Germany, we're in other countries are then here. And then it's just how everything is not connecting and showing that neurospiciness, or how it's like we might be American kids over in Germany and like we are neurodivergent, but we are not, like, the language barrier is not there. So they aren't seeing it. They just see it as a language barrier.
Yeah. And I mean, that language thing is a whole nother kit and caboodle itself.
I went to speech therapy.
You can say it in your microphone.
Yes, but now I'm afraid the dog's gonna steal my microphone because I have stole the couch so much. I have been kicked off the couch. I am sitting on the floor. You can sit right where therapy for nothing because nobody uses English right. Apparently, I went to speech therapy to use English right, and yet no uses English right. I went to speech therapy for nothing. The government paid for me to go, and multiple other children to go to speech therapy for nothing. They put the speech therapists didn't even use English right, or phrasing, or terms, or words right.
So she's gotten past any nervousness having you as a guest, Kristen.
I don't even think she was nervous last time. She had some wildly big opinions last time too.
That's because you and a few of our other guests are willing to let her have those wildly big opinions.
It's the idea of everyone's allowed opinions, and screw people who say otherwise. It's honestly, being an advocate for neurodiversity, I think as a spouse is really hard whenever you're in the military, and to think about it when, like, your military person is deployed.
Oh yeah.
And then coming in and taking care of the household. And I cannot pull up the research study to tell you exactly which one it is, but I remember reading it that parents of neurospicy kids exhibit stress to that levels of combat veterans.
They do. And they don't. I've got the contact list. So like when Tri-West went to Nat Health, and now that it's gone back, I know exactly who to call to go, hey, there's a problem. We were in New Mexico, and I literally told his commander, like in October when it went. I think we all, if you were in the Western Dale, you remember when Tri-West went to Nat Health, because like for a year they hadn't gotten anyone taking Nat Health. They had sent out letters going, hi, could you please ask your provider to call us to take the health insurance?
See, we're in the Tri-East that just went to Tri-West, and so now it's a huge hodgepodge of a thing of getting everything flipped over, and then services are interrupted.
They were. And like where we were, I was like letting people know in advance, and I'd even told her therapy clinic that she was at, and they're like, no way that's happening. We are one of their biggest providers. They would have told us. But as soon as she did one, and I'm like, can you check that she has services? And their billing went, she doesn't have services.
See,
I'm in the parking lot calling the SES at the med clinic going, hi, Bill. But Jacob's commander, I had it like up to the SES at the hospital. And Jacob's commander moseys on in as an 05 going, I can handle this, since a spouse was dealing with it. And I'm like, yeah, here's Bill's phone number. And he and Jacob are calling Bill, and they get off the phone, and I'm like, should I have warned you that's the SES at the clinic? And both of them look at me like I am the worst spouse ever. They're like, see, you're supposed to know. Because they were just using his first name and acting like, he was just some worker at the clinic.
I'd still, yes, there's a hierarchy to be given and utilized, but sometimes when it comes to advocacy, like, nope, we completely miss all of that. It's like, I am doing for my kid what I'm going to.
If you can get into that level at your clinic or the hospital, all those guys, the hierarchy goes out the window. And so they hadn't realized, because he wasn't like pulling rank going, oh yeah, I'm the SAS here. He's just like, no, I need you to tell me exactly in detail so I can go to my higher ups, which are, DHA.
So I put out questions onto my social media to say, hey, all of my people out there, all of my ones, what would you want to know for talking about the military? And I actually had a therapist friend who works with a lot of military families, military kids. She says, how do you prep that family with neurospicy kids for a PCS move?
Oh, there's a way you can get out of a PCS move for your neurospicy kids.
What?
Yeah. And Jacob's current commander was his old commander when he failed to do the paperwork for us. And when we moved, because he thought the services were going to follow, and he's like, how mad are you at me now? And I'm like, you should go back to command school because you had a whole week in command school on this piece of paper. But I think they sleep through it. What do you want to say, Lita?
Oh, you're wanting to show.
You're wanting to show the puppy snores. No, your command can stop it.
That is new information for me.
It is, and it annoys me when I find out it's new information, because this information has been there for like 35 years. The only way they can force you to proceed is if there is 0 interruption in services, and that is 0 days interruption.
See, this is why getting together like this is so incredibly important, because it's sharing information that at some point in time we're like, why would you not know this? Why does the world not know this? It's just,
I hate to say it because I never like saying anything good about the Army. But they're better at it than the rest of us.
Really?
So years ago, and I'm trying to, because I know we have younger audience members, be a little careful in selecting my words. We had a very bad summer where federal charges were coming on a real regular basis. And the Army, Congress got involved. Pentagon got involved. These are kids we're talking about. And the problem was, it was the younger enlisted and the younger officers. They didn't know what they were doing. They were stressing out. And charges were being levied. And the statement was, this is a command failing. That the commanders are failing in their job of taking care of their personnel. So if you are an EFMP family, your commander is supposed to have a written document on file with EFMP stating exactly how your commander is going to support your family. They're supposed to have quarterly check-ins with the spouse.
Wow.
Most do not.
No.
What the commanders don't seem to understand is it's snowing again here, Kristen. It was like 60 yesterday, fires all over the place, and I just looked out the window and we have snow.
I'm so jealous. It's like 85 here today.
We were so bad yesterday. Jacob got sent home early because our base was on fire.
This is the epitome of, like, literally the world is burning.
Yeah, and then we were at the dance studio, and there were 3 more fires around us, including where we were looking for a new studio space. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
So yeah, snow is an important thing right now here.
We're going to put out some fires with snow.
And I know Texas, my family's a little further north than you are, but brain could be used right about now down there.
We are under fire watch as well, because Texas.
We're under fire watch and a possible blizzard warning at the same time.
That's impressive. I don't know that Texas has ever had that.
Colorado is a unique
It is a very unique state.
Yes.
Which I loved living in Colorado. That was all the quirky weirdness that I did well with.
It is. But yeah, your commanders are supposed to be involved in your EFMP. And if something happens, which God forbid it happens, they are on the hook.
Ooh.
And it's more than just proceeding without services. It is, if you are facing federal charges, they are facing federal charges.
That's information that most don't know. And this is why I like learning these
your
things.
Therapist friend can write a letter to the EFMP and go, I do not think this person should be, I'm saying the doctor, as a medical provider, right. No, they cannot proceed. We're at this low part in a service providing. To proceed would to interrupt
the continuity of care.
Yeah. And God help me, it is not just autism, it's across the board. I've had oncologists call up going, how do I keep them from in the middle of chemo?
That's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hi, it's this little, because I've had parents call up and go, we're in the middle of chemo and they want to move me across the pond.
Have you ever felt the pressure as a mom, as a neurospicy mom with a neurospicy kid? Because neurospicy mom with a neurospicy kid, a couple neurospicy kids.
Yeah.
And the pressure of, how do I say this in the right way? How do I say it to make sure that they are understanding like what I'm trying to get across? Sometimes I feel like my words get muddled because I get stuck in the semantics of it, or my brain buffers.
You should make my mother off of this. She makes no 11 cents ever off of being around people who want me and my father. She has no such thing as English around us.
I mean, to get roasted by your teenager, that's mom code right there.
That is mom code. Jacob's and my deal when it comes to her is it's his career on the line, so he gets to deal with her. The problem his commanders have had is they've made me mad with her, and then I have to deal with them on a professional level somewhere else. And since I'm already miffed with what they did to my child, now I'm coming in with both barrels blazing to what they're doing with another child. Because I'm like, I had to sit back because I can't. It would be a conflict of interest for me to deal with her. But I can go after you for what you did to this kid.
Oh, okay.
Which I kind of think he should warn his commanders a few times going, hi, she knows more than you do, and you're going to mess up again.
That's, prior to, do y'all do homeschooling?
Yeah, we do homeschooling.
Prior to homeschooling, when she was in public school, and like the multitude of times, if you were ever in public school, did you know
she was in private school?
Okay,
but she was only in private school. She was in Montessori for preschool. Then they moved us because I wanted out of Florida so badly. That was the first time a therapist was like, "We can stop you," and I'm like, no, we're going home to New Mexico. I will be close enough to El Paso. I can go smell Texas, so I'm happier. The Texan in me needs the Texas air every now and then. And I will be around family. I will be around friends. I need back with my support group because we had someone who was like, I will stop you. And I'm like, I need to be at Beaumont. Like, and she's like, but we're the Air Force. And I'm like, I need the Army now. But then we moved her to a private school, and New Mexico has, and I think all the states are doing this now, where they give vouchers for private schools for kindergarten. And because TRICARE, I hate this about TRICARE. I do not think enough people understand this. If you are on TRI-Prime and you receive services in the school, you are not allowed to receive private services.
Really?
And if you do, we can come after you up to and including after retirement when we find out.
Holy moly. That's wild.
And I have dealt with so much of that I'm like, no, she's in private services. She has to be in private school, because if she's in public school, well, her private kindergarten class had 35 children in it.
Huh.
And I was, go ahead, Lita.
My shoes got stolen.
Her shoes got stolen because a couple of the kids were picking on her.
See, it's
Would you like to talk about the few times I got phone calls from the Donna Ana County Sheriffs real quick, Lita? Because Dr. Kristen will love those.
Every single time we went on a field trip, I got lost in the museum, and also on fairground, and also in a place where there was nobody else around, and we were in the middle of nowhere, and there was a bunch of nothingness everywhere, and I got picked up by the cops multiple times.
mm-hmm.
And because it was Las Cruces, small town, I was getting phone calls from deputies going, "Hi, we have Lita."
And as a mom, that just makes your stomach drop. At least the first time. The second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, you're like, all right, this is more my norm.
I was like, how did they lose my autistic kid at the state fairgrounds?
I also felt like my teacher's mother was being really creepy towards my father because she was talking about my father weird. So my father likes his child and his wife.
There is definitely a difference between guys and girls. And my husband does not mask. He does not understand the idea of masking, but he's very autistic. And for some reason, people just see it as quirky. I wanted to be a paleontologist, but got upset because SMU wouldn't let me in. Nothing like being that. I mean, he is still mad at that. And that was like in 2002 that SMU denied him entrance.
You know what? They've officially rued the day since then.
I mean, he will sit there and check their scores for sports just so he can rub it in when they lose. And I'm like, dear, it's been 2 decades. We can get over this now. But autistic people don't get over stuff.
No, that level of monotropism where we just hyper fixate on 1 to 2 things and we are laser level focused, that does not go away so easily.
It does not, but he's a guy, so it's okay for him to be hyper-focused on the fact that SMU didn't let him in, but volunteered to let him come teach classes. He just wasn't good enough to be a master's student.
Oh my gosh, bringing in the gender differences between how we are appropriately allowed to act.
But she's had a couple... She's had teachers both in school and with dance and stuff go, don't you want to try for a normal kid like you? And he's like, I don't think you know what normal is.
I also don't like
a normal kid like you.
Yeah, like my husband, who is, I guess during the 2 or 3 hours they see him a year, he looks normal. I don't know.
How offensive is that though? Don't you want to try for a normal kid? It's like, well, don't you want to try to go eat sand? Like, I don't know that just seems so rude.
You may take that one.
I'm sorry, but I know it's weird, but I got more offended when they talked about my father creepily because I don't care what gender. It's still wrong to creep on men. It's like wrong as hell, especially when it's my father. It's wrong as hell.
I mean, I'm also sitting there going, you don't know what he's like. TMO looks at us funny because we have to move his rocks. And they're like, oh, these are just plain rocks. And I'm like, my husband's a geologist by training. Do not mess with the rocks. Do not hurt the rocks. They need to be properly packed in crates.
I wore this in thinking of your husband. I'm like,
I love it.
We don't need to be dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah. He's got, she's all excited over there with the dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs. See, she gets me.
Yes. No, and I'm like, because they're like, well, she's all into dinosaurs. And I'm like, the dude, we've been together forever. And we were really young when we got together. He called me on my 21st birthday. He was out in the field with his college class or internship, had not in any way said happy birthday to me. And he's like, hi, I stumbled on a dinosaur today.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, hi, do you know it's 11:58 p.m. and you have yet to say happy birthday? And he's like, oh, happy birthday. By the way, so we were out and Horner and I were talking and we were walking and I just stumbled on a dinosaur. And I'm like, only you, dear, could just, because he tripped over a femur.
Okay, that is really cool though.
But, most women don't appreciate, I will give him a hard time that he never did say happy birthday that year.
Well, and see, that's where you come in with the I'm not most women, I'm spicy.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm like, most women are not going to be okay that he was off in the field because he was still going for paleontology at that time, not the military. And he was like, I'm looking for dinosaurs. They were like somewhere totally else. And that dinosaur, we can actually go visit it at the New Mexico Museum in Albuquerque. But
awesome.
Most women aren't like, and I give him a hard time. I'm like, let's go visit, because he's got like 4 dinosaurs around the country we have to go visit when we're in town because they're his dinosaurs. He either, found the quarry or he prepared the bones. So
I would go visit them too. Like, that's a need of like, here's my dinosaur. I call him Franklin.
I don't believe that my father found dinosaurs.
She's like, I don't believe he found dinosaurs. He's not that cool. But
if he found a dinosaur, he would be dead.
You have to be a little different to be okay with, we're going to drive out of our, yes, cuckoo, as Lita's saying, because I gotta go. And you have to be okay with, this is just who he is. And they're all seeing like that 1 hour where he's not masking, but they're like, oh, he's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I don't mind packing up all these rocks and taking them. TMO might. I do not. He went to Colorado School of Mines. When you graduate, you get a rock from the mountain.
Oh, that's cool.
The military, and he will be very clear on, we did not, the kitty is here. Lita's like, the cat disappeared. He will be very clear on, not cool on. He's like, you don't understand. I had to walk up there as a freshman, put the rock up, then had to bus up as a senior to grab my rock.
Yeah, those rocks come with.
And he has his rock, and he has his, it's just a plain white painted rock. Yeah, you try explaining to TMO that needs to show up at the next location in one place.
I love autism brains. I think they're so much fun. I know for this next generation of moms, they're able to get more resources because it's being seen more, being noticed a lot sooner. Not always for girls, but a lot more for girls.
A lot more for girls. And still in the military, we're starting to teach people how to notice.
One of the things that I find is still a struggle, and I wonder if you have seen this across having your access to all the military, the struggle of maintaining a job while being primary caregiver for kids, but also then for neurospicy kids, which might need, they might need higher levels of care.
And it's even worse because most military spouses, you're not going to be a professional because moving with all those licenses is a pain in the butt.
Yes.
And I don't think people understand that you cannot move to a different state and just set up practice.
No, so hypothetically, because I'm licensed in Texas, I could move to Colorado, but I couldn't see clients in Colorado. I could see clients in Texas because I'm licensed in Texas, and I set myself up specifically for kind of a military lifestyle. If I needed to move, I could still see clients. It just wouldn't be in person, which I don't know how you do it. I have a hard time with eye contact anyway, which is why virtual is always good. Even virtual, I still find myself looking away because eye contact's hard.
That is one of the whole reasons we started dance studio, Kristen, is because teachers were coming out to me going, she's not maintaining eye contact with me. She's being disrespectful. And I'm sitting there going, I'm sorry, would you like to repeat that? Because I don't give a damn.
And it's, You know what though? But still with the idea of eye contact, there's this misconception of like that it physically hurts us. And not for me, it doesn't physically hurt, but I have to spend more time saying, okay, I need to look in the eye. It's polite to look in the eye. Did I hear what they're saying? No, because I'm focused on that one eyebrow hair that I saw.
There
that
are
I cannot
studies
let
on
go of.
that. There are studies on that.
Of course, there's studies on that.
And the studies are it's not hurting us, it's that we're not paying attention when we're looking in the eye. You want to take that, Lita? Because you look happy.
I just do this.
You're just doing that. But no, you on a regular basis have told teachers that your eyes are not your ears.
That's yes.
But we have studies now showing that autistic people are more likely. She's like, why did I do my hair this way? I don't know, because you're just over there doing your hair. Autistic people looking you in the eyes are doing what you said. They're thinking, how long have I looked in the eye? Is this getting creepy? Is this getting strange? Did I miss? Oh no, I just missed what they're saying. If they're not looking you in the eye, they're listening.
Well, and it's funny because in a couple of Dr. Temple Grandin's books, she talks about how in studies of the brain, sometimes neurospiced brains, they actually feel some like visceral reactions when they're looking people in the eye, as opposed to when neurotypicals look people away, like how they have that of like, oh, that's a rude, that's a thing. And so like they feel it, but it's just flipped.
My microphone just changed. I'm going to have to get out and get back in because I don't want bad audio for this. Lita, you can talk about your hair for 2 seconds.
Wait, why my
I like that you have one side done.
I don't even
You know what we need to do with your hair?
I don't even know
We-
why I did this. Why would I talk about
You need
your
to put your hair
Oh, I can hear the
in like
nothing.
a
I
mohawk.
cannot hear anything.
Did you not turn on your...
Speaker.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, now I can hear the stuff.
Now she can hear this stuff.
I was saying you should put your hair in like a mohawk where it just goes straight up. I feel like you would touch the ceiling because your hair's so long.
You might be. Yeah, we can look into that at some point and gelling it. There's nothing saying you can't do a mohawk.
She's like, what?
No, it's as long as it's once. You can either have it down all together or in 3 strands. There's nothing saying you can't
That would
mohawk
be
it.
amazing.
No, but the eye thing just drives me bonkers, and that's another one that spouses get told by commands that their kids need to do X, Y, stupid, Z. And it's like, no, your kid does not need to look your husband's commander in the eyes.
Snowflakes got bigger. Snowflakes got bigger. Snowflakes got bigger. The snow is sticking to the ground. Snowflakes are bigger.
It is massive. We need moisture. And the dog just annoyed her. I don't know what he did.
That's so funny. Well, so think about it. The idea of they have to look their commander, their parents' commanders in the eye, and then you move to a new base, and that commander has no idea of what your kiddo has been through, has not been through, and you have to go through that whole rigmarole of advocacy all over again.
I'm going to say something that probably is going to shock a lot of our parents. Fun fact, your incoming command or receiving command is supposed to know your EFMP. That is supposed to be something that they are made aware of. They are supposed to have a plan by time you actually get there. They are supposed to meet you and your sponsorer, the active duty member, within a month of you showing up, because their job is to support you. It is in the regulations, people.
So what I'm hearing from you is these incoming spouses who are 18, because we get married when we're 18 in the military. Like that's just, it's so incredibly common, 18, 19, but ones who don't know that they can do this. Like these new parents at 19 years old, 20 years old.
That might be why the regulations, Kristen, were written the way it was, because we saw the problem was more for those young kids. Because I mean, it's
Yeah.
across the. I mean, I don't just work with autism. I work with the cancer kids. I work with the kids who are having issues with eating. We were at one of Jacob's commands, and they didn't even know because their kid had to be on prescription formula. Prime paid for the prescription formula.
That's amazing.
And they had never, and the doctor was even like, wait, TRICARE will pay for this? And I'm like, did you prescribe it? Yes. I don't know what to tell you. TRICARE will pay for it. You just have to get the nurse to do it, and TRICARE will reimburse them 100%.
Okay, so it's just, but it's added work. It's added steps.
Because they weren't getting it through a pharmacy, that was where the added steps were. If they had gotten it through the pharmacy, there would be no added steps.
Yeah, like that because snowflakes, that because snowflakes, that because. Yeah, very poofy now. Snowflakes, that because. I'm gonna eat snow after this.
I'm really jealous. We have no snow. We only have sunshine.
Yeah, but you have Buc-ee's closer than we have it. So,
Oh, 9 miles away.
I mean, she would live at Buc-ee's if it was that close.
I feel like I would live at Buc-ee's just to live at Buc-ee's. They have everything there.
My
Buc-ee's
husband has said
support us.
he will never go to Buc-ee's again because he cannot handle it. Is too sensory overload for him.
It is pretty sensory overload, but I really like their food. So I can make a beeline for the stuff and then come back out.
I also, the one time we took him was on the Buc-ee's from the beach in Pensacola to the main highway back to like Georgia and to Montgomery.
Oh, a really busy Buc-ee's.
On the day it was raining nonstop.
Okay, I could see why he wouldn't want to go back in. Like,
yeah,
it's overstimulating on a day where it's not that chaotic.
And you add all that, and it was the only gas station on this road from about Pensacola into Auburn.
Oh my gosh. And for a non-masking human, that's just, you are feeling all the things all at once.
Oh yeah. And he's like, I'll just sit in the car from now on.
That's, oh my gosh.
But no, I don't think a lot of people know, like your therapy friend who asked, she can request no PCS. She can also.
I love that. I love learning that.
Fun fact, we priced our dance classes. I know, I'm crazy. We priced them right where I know TRICARE pays for them.
That's perfect.
They won't pay if I ask them to pay as the owner or the CEO of the studio, but if the medical team determines, especially if you can get a behavioral shrink, a neurologist, a developmental ped to sign off on it, which if you are TRICARE, you are required as an autistic parent to have that for your child. I don't think most of the medical providers know that. The general practice don't know they're supposed to be sending these kids to the nearest one of those three.
No, I don't know that we have any of those.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah, because TRICARE does not consider it an autistic thing unless it is sent over by your behavioral shrink.
Okay, so getting into activities, having the request from them can go in and
they'll pay for it.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
And if you have the right, you got to be friends with your general prac and pediatrician. Just if you've got a neurospicy kid, be friends with them. When you go to PCS, they tried to keep us in New Mexico by stating, we don't know that she can get the same dance classes where you're sending her in Montgomery. If my husband's commander had even thought about filling out the right paperwork, just because her medical team said she needed dance classes for her autism therapy and she needed them X number of times a week. And that was how they were trying to hold her back, because the receiving base was like, yeah, no, she can get services in 18 months. That won't be a problem, right?
Wow.
You are supposed to, as a commander, if any of the commanders are listening, you have the right to stop that. And it's not even a compassionate. You just redo the assignment there.
See, I really love coming in and talking about military specific things, autism specific things, because not everybody knows how to advocate, how to be an advocate.
And it's such a niche deal that even if you have an advocate coming in from outside the military, they don't know all the moment you say, let's read the regulation, is the moment everyone in the room sits up a little straighter going, wait, there's rights on this? And I know my husband absolutely cannot believe that it takes people forever to get EFMP. He got it in 72 hours.
Oh, yeah. No, it took us weeks.
He Googled it.
And that's neurospicy brains. Neurospicy brains can do the pattern recognition, can do all the things. For the ones who, I've got the neurospicy brain, but I had no idea where to start. I had no idea where to look.
I was like, hey, I can take this. It'll take me 30 days because I'm good at it. And he went, 30 days sounds really long. We need this done now, Amanda. And then the next thing I know, 72 hours later, he's like, well, she's also an echo. And I'm like, how the heck did you do that? And he's like, well, I Googled it and told everyone, no, I need the meetings in this order on this day. And we're going to all sit down. And
That's
I will just
amazing.
hand you the papers and we'll just pass it around.
That's, oh my gosh, see, I love that.
I'd never thought of getting everyone at the same table.
No, but that's genius because, again, continuity of care.
And you are going to be getting a lot of information about the snowflakes, Kristen, but
good.
And then because we got her EFMP because the Brevard County wouldn't give my child speech and language therapy because she couldn't speak.
What?
Brevard County, Florida, at the time would not provide speech and language therapy to kids until they could speak.
I feel like that would be like the entire crux of needing speech therapy.
You sound exactly like her pediatrician at base was that day when I was like crying, going, I don't know what to do. We both agreed she needed speech. The weirdos at Brevard County. And she called over and they were like, yeah, no, she doesn't qualify until she can speak. And her pediatrician, knowing how to work TRICARE, I was like, we're getting her over to the developmental ped. And I'm like, well, okay, so that's 6 months. Because you know how TRICARE works. And she's like, no, it's not. And we had, before I left her office, she had gotten it through for the referral. Because she's like, oh no, I'm calling TRICARE to get this referral. It's not going through the nurse. And
see, so it's having people in your corner who are willing to come in and advocate, who are willing to come in and be loud.
It's also having the people who know how to do it, because I had to explain when we were in Montgomery, I had to work the nurse through, here's how you get this referral to this specific spot. And she's like, wait, try Prime, we can refer to a specific provider. Yeah, you can. You just the doctor has to say there is no other provider that can provide this.
Yep.
And big up.
She's excited about the snow. But it shouldn't be on the civilian spouse to have to explain how this works.
It shouldn't, but so much of it is falling to it. And for anyone who's listening today, and if this hits closer to home, know that there's so many resources you can access. Googling is a good start.
I had never even, but he like...
My dad also says Google was invented to be the use, so just Google everything, except doctor stuff. But Google everything else, except medical stuff. He says that's the only thing you should not Google because Dr. Google is not the good. Also, the snowflakes not even floofy off.
She's had some within the dance world, dance teachers who they all think they're educators, and I'm like, you have not gone to school for education. Please do not.
Is literally cancer. Only autism? What is it for my autism causes cancer?
True statement. Well, you know how bad Google is on autism.
I still want to say it's getting better, but
It gets better if you're Googling the papers, but how many people want to or have the inclination to read those papers
or even who know that the papers are out there.
and know which journals? Because there are some journals that we all know, do not read from that journal.
Yeah.
Not really a real journal.
And it's taking what you find on the internet with a grain of salt, do some research beyond the immediacy of what you find.
Right. And there are plenty of decent journals out there. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm sure you're keeping up with a gazillion of the journals.
I just like to read. That's my autism's my hyperfixation. I like to learn about it. It's super cool.
There's just a couple journals that their peer review happen to be the same people publishing the papers.
Well,
That
you know,
reaction. And it's not just autism. We have it in all the sciences.
that's exactly where my brain went. Is that this isn't just a one-sided thing.
Oh no, this is not just a one-sided thing. We have I can name some of them. Bill Nye. I felt so lied to when I found out that guy has no science background.
Wait a minute. I'm just learning this. He has no science background?
No, he has a survey of mechanical engineering. He's not even a mechanical engineer.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Has no background in science. And all of his papers he has written, he's been the chair of the peer review board for his papers.
I feel like that's just going to rewrite my childhood right there.
I felt so lied to.
Snowflakes got tiny over fluffy, also full stone.
The guy you will never see because mom found that out before you were born and felt so
Mom is salty. Mom is salty.
We were at a thing and he flat out told me I didn't have the credentials just because I have a PhD in theoretical physics. And I was like, well, I know I don't probably have the same PhD you have. And he's like, no, I have a bachelor's in survey of mechanical engineering. And for all of our engineering listeners, they don't even consider you an engineer at that point. They consider you good enough to go work on what they designed.
Oh, that's so funny.
I told my little sister who's a physical engineer and it about broke her heart. She's like, wait, he's like not even good enough. It's pretty much you can go fix the machine. You're a mechanic.
You know what? That's a segue. We don't have enough time to go down on this day.
We could probably do like
1 hour and 21 and just 1 hour mark.
She is so good at keeping track. But we talked for like 6 minutes beforehand. So the other thing on your therapist friend is she might be able to, if the kid needs soccer, if the kid needs basketball, she may be able to request it from the primary care herself.
Oh, I like that.
Try Prime. It is an extra step. You do pay, they reimburse you. But it's just like, I'm going to say something and it's going to shock a lot of people. It shouldn't. If you cannot get care in your local area and you have to go outside of your local area, please, for the love of God, keep all your receipts.
Mm-hmm.
Because TRICARE will reimburse you.
Yes.
And that's even for like us. If we have to drive up to Denver because it's outside the deal, we will reimburse you mileage. I don't think it's worth it for me because the mileage is so low. But I've heard of families that they're like, yeah, do you know how much this plane flight is costing me? Why didn't you submit it to TRICARE? Your husband or your wife, whoever is the active duty, should be really good at submitting stuff like travel vouchers.
Yeah. But to even know that they can do that.
I don't think a lot of the general care providers know that they can do that.
I'm pretty certain they don't. So I'm going to spread that word to
Yeah.
everyone.
There's no place off of the
Kids-
Olympic line now, they can't.
There's a lot of let's go to San Antonio for Sam Houston, because it's got the better medical facility, or El Paso for Beaumont. And people are like, I didn't know I could, say I want my money back.
That's amazing.
But yeah, and stick on TriPrime. I cannot emphasize this enough because the number of parents who, I don't know if you've looked at the co-pays for Tri-Standard recently.
So I'm on standard, kids are on prime.
As well, you probably want them if they're in all the autism therapies.
Mm-hmm.
The number of young people who talk to someone and they're like, oh, I was told to get on Tri-Standard so we could pick our own medical provider. And then it's not just Gen Z. I've known a lot of young millennials, and it's just young people because they talk to another young person on Post or Base who says, but you can't pick your provider on Prime. That's a lie. Your doctor can pick your provider for you. But it's 40% for speech therapy right now as a copay.
Okay, yeah. So coming in and being loud and advocate.
Well, and just stay on Prime, because if it's Prime,
yeah,
paid. I had someone who went, because you can change if you have a medical thing, you can change your deal, and they came up and I went standard because my kid's on chemo. The copay for chemo is 35%.
We are to an hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you gonna take forever?
Yeah, but just don't go on standard if your kid needs services.
No, stick with Prime as long as you can.
And you can stick with Prime for a while.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Yes.
It's also easier to stop the PCS if you're on Prime versus standard.
Oh, that's good to know too. See, I love all of this information. And where I might not be near a base, I know clinicians all across the US who are working with people who are near bases who can use this information and share it.
The difference is Prime is within DHA. So it's within the military. Standard is considered an insurance. Do not ask me how standard works because we don't deal with it. It's a completely separate thing from TRICARE.
And we are
It's not,
to an hour
but
and 4 minutes. If anybody who's autistic who barely has the capacity mentally to go a full hour, we're on the podcast. Congratulations to you. You probably watched this to sleep. This is so long. The dog can sleep.
I just want to get a few more TRICARE things on because, I mean, I feel so terrible because providers don't know this. And the key also is figure out who. It is never your general prac, but there's always a office at your clinic, or if you're at the hospital, there's a floor of them who their entire job is to be your advocate.
So find that area. Yeah. Go find your advocates.
They are listed on the directory. No one seems to know they're there. They love it when you show up in their office because no one knows they're there.
Yep.
And they are your advocate. They are civilian employees of the United States military, or they are military personnel themselves. And you have never lived until you've seen a 3-star general decide he is upset at TRICARE.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes.
And these guys are buddies with the head of the clinic. They're buddies with the head of the hospital because they work. And their job, even if you're seeing civilian care off base, they can be your advocate for the civilian care off base. They also can come to your EFM, or not to your EFMP meetings. They are supposed to come to your EFMP meetings if you remind them that they're there or remember they're there. They also, fun fact, can come to your IEP and 504 meetings.
I like that too.
And when they show up, they tend to show up with the JAG guys.
We are now to an hour and 7 minutes. Seriously, if anyone has ADHD that's severely bad and made it this long, seriously, you need a medal. Well, that'll just go to a candy store and treat yourself and just get more candy than you probably need for the whole entire year that will last you until Halloween. When you have to probably give away to trick-or-treaters.
Just to the other thing that I don't think a lot of people understand is the Army. Of course, it's the Army. The Army is great. The Army is wonderful. We love the Army, right?
Yeah.
Your Navy husband definitely loves the Army, right?
Loves.
If you are at a decent sized Army post, which aren't they all decent sized Army posts, their behavioral shrinks that see the PTSD guys also have autism and other neurodiverse. And you can go, we're both older. You can go do your PTSD while they go see their behavioral shrink.
That's really cool.
I know. If we could just get the OTs, the PTs, and the speech and language pathologists on post to do the autism care.
We just need everyone there.
But it is the Army has amazing. I say this as a wife of a Space Force guy, so you can guess how much, if you are military, this is hurting me to say. If you can get to them, the Army has the best autism care in the military.
See, that's good to know. That's good to know.
So all you have to do is figure out how to get your spouse near. Because we've got Lita at Carson. She's not at Peterson where Jacob's stationed. She's at the Army post in town.
See? Army. Oh my gosh. This was so much fun.
I mean, at least it's not the crayon eaters.
We're good, no Marines.
We all love Marines. One of the parents at dance yesterday just died laughing. She's like, my husband's Navy. I didn't know everyone calls them crayon eaters.
Everybody. It's so funny. It's so, just the rivalry between the military branches.
And, Space Force, they're all like, what do you guys do? And then when the fire broke out yesterday, our news had to actually say, do not worry, they're evacuating the base except for the GPS guys. They're not evacuating. Your GPS on your phones will still work.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, so the important part here is not that we're evacuating the military. It's don't worry, the 24/7 commands are not evacuating while the fire is there.
Yep. They can stay and burn.
I have a feeling they moved where they were doing stuff.
An hour and 10 minutes. I don't think anyone's left on here.
Kristen, we're gonna have to have you on as a recurring guest, obviously.
I know. We should totally do a different theme every month.
I know, because I think next month needs to be masking, because
it's Autism Awareness Month too.
I know. And we'll record it in April and I'll put it out in May. But it's
Mom, if we get to an hour and 11 minutes,
this one will be going out in April.
Yes, this one will be going out in April. That is the other Dr. Kristen that I know. This is my mother. This is hopefully the end. If you made it to it,
no, it's not the end. But so if anyone's got any questions on masking and stuff, reach out to us, DM us, because we will answer the questions. I think we definitely need to do one. I think
the masking one's important.
Yeah, and I think that leads to all the breakdowns everyone's having.
Mm-hmm.
If someone could just do a few more papers on this.
No kidding. No kidding. I would like to read them.
I do not have the time to do them. But I have a few papers that it's like breakdown and masking. The other one is if anyone would like to do, it was the evolutionary biologist. I will not say what we all think about the evolutionary biologist and their order or place in the pecking order for all of us in the sciences, right? But they've got a new one saying that dance is language. Well, new one. It's 2010, but 2010 in the sciences is new. Suggesting dance is just a language and that doing dance classes helps repair language in TBI patients.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, okay, that's going to be a thing for another day because
We need to do,
An
someone needs to do that.
hour and 12 minutes. If anyone is left watching this podcast, we probably don't know what's left watching this podcast.
if anyone's left
because
watching, that means they love us.
Yes, they love us. And I think Dr. Kristen is so full of information. And this one, we could do like 3 or 4 just on what military things are out there. Dear commanders,
Yes.
please learn your job.
Or reach out and ask questions because we want to give you the information.
I mean, it would be, or you could Google what your job is with
I
dealing
mean,
with,
that too.
because some of this is, but it would be so much easier on neurodiverse families if commanders knew where their part in it was.
Yep, that's the best takeaway.
The number of times I'm trying to rewrite stuff, because when you go to move, your commander has to submit the report that they were supposed to make when you showed up. And the number of times I'm getting a call going, what was this supposed to be 3 years ago, 2 years ago? And if you've changed commanders, that new commander is supposed to come in and have a deal. Also, real quick, active duty, they're supposed to keep an eye on you every month.
I feel like you're giving your kid a stroke.
But thanks, Kristen. We love having you on.
Thank you for having me again. And
We're gonna have we will have you on next month. And she's had a week and she was looking so forward to having you on. So thanks for coming on. You were the highlight of her week.
It's awesome. And now you've got snow.
Yes, it is piling up. So let's hope because last I heard, all 3 fires were still going here in town.
Oh, geez, Louise. Well, hopefully the snow puts out the fire.
Oh, yes. And we will see you in a month, probably.
Bye. I'll see you next month. Bye, puppy.
Bye, puppy.
Hello, thank you for watching the podcast, and please subscribe and also look at the adorable paper. So if you want to subscribe for it, and also please leave a like. And don't forget, if you subscribe to our stuff, you won't miss any of our new podcast stuffies. And also, did you see the adorable paper? Don't you like it?